All right. Greetings, everyone that has joined us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I am your melanated queen and your hostess, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. You all, I have some new equipment today. I'm testing out this microphone because, as you all know, my voice is extremely light. It doesn't carry, so I'm going to see how well this works. This microphone is extremely sensitive, so I'll try not to bump into it, okay? But today we're going to be talking about the AstroWorld Festival chaos, confusion, you all. That is what they wish to portray to us. You all know I like to come on camera, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I went to dance class today, Soca Fit, shout out to them, and I had a lovely day. I am physically tired, but I wanted to come on here anyway. Normally I like to show my face, you all, so you can see what I have on. I have on a cute little crop top hoodie set with the shorts to match. Uh, Special shout out to BGAB Clothing. If you check out my Instagram page, you can actually see this ensemble that I have on. I got a lot of compliments in the class today. Some people wanted to order. So these come in an assortment of colors that is extra small, small, medium, and large. I believe also extra large, you all. I will try to do a little mini commercial so that you all can see this outfit that I have on, and I'll try to post it on here and I'll put something together. Well, I do a lot of my own everything. I from marketing, advertisement, investing, coming up with the creative designs, ideas. Everything that you see is compliments of yours truly, CEO and founder of Brown Girls Are Beautiful, but I absolutely enjoy every minute of it. I love what I do. But without no further ado, I want to get into this matter. Well, I would love to have some co hosts to come on and join me sometimes. But I know that my sister is probably asleep right now. She's dealing with three little ones. One of my friends is actually in orientation at this time. And the other individual will be starting his podcast very soon. I look very forward to that. If you get a chance, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to Brilliant TV. That's Brilliance TV, actually. BRILLIANCE, Brilliance TV. Shout out to Sprite. And I will be probably on with him sometime in the near future. Okay, so I wanted to get into this whole debacle, okay, if you will, this Astroworld situation. Many of you may or may not be aware that there are many atrocities that are staged. Let that be no um, surprise to you, because as we know, these staged events have been taking place many, 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 many years over time. Yeah, I'm going to plug my computer up, so my apologies if you can hear some shuffling in the background. I'll try to be considerate, okay? Um, if I need to take breaks, I'm just going to play you one of my mini commercials. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I want my laptop to be fully charged, okay? Because I know how these live streams can run the battery and drain the energy, you all. And that's what this Astroworld Festival was all about. It was about draining energy, it was about energy harvesting. I've watched a couple of channels that go into depth and detail about this matter, and the consensus is the same across the board, you all. So now what they're doing is they're orchestrating more plans about how the families are suing, how he offered to pay for the funeral and nobody accepted the money. You all, they play on the heartstrings and the emotions of you individuals, okay? How do they do that? Let's take a trip down memory lane. You all remember 9/11? You all remember what happened in 9/11? If you don't, let me refresh your memory, because you all, I watched so much footage of the 9/11 situation. It is not even funny. And after it took place, it was probably about 10 years later, 2011, when I really was able to uncover the truth. If you all get a chance, check it out on Netflix if it's still available. It's called In Plain Sight. In Plain Sight, you all. So, with that being said, there were a lot of things that were missing from the narrative. Okay? These people like to paint the picture that they wish for you to see. So everything you see in this world is not real. REAL. It is strictly a real. REEL. And you may be familiar with this narrative on Instagram. Okay. Everybody that shows you little reels of their lives are just showing you little snippets of what they want you to see. Make no mistake about that, you all. So I think it's very important when you go through life and you're comparing yourself to someone else's unreal reality, you're only comparing yourself, your full life, to a portion of their orchestrated life. And the same goes in this whole media debacle, you all. I'm going to see if I can find, because I hadn't really prepared for this episode. This is like a spur of the moment thing, because I just wanted to test out the microphone, to be honest. I just wanted to test this out. I wish my friend was available right now, but like I said, unfortunately, they are busy. So let's see if we can find some interesting information, to go over. And I want to send a special shout out to one individual. He's been sending me some stuff on Instagram. I really need to take some time to look at all of that information, you all, because it's so much that goes on behind the scenes that y'all are not aware of. So much goes on where these people are orchestrating fake lives for us all. And I think I'm getting a message from someone. Actually, that's the friend that I told you that's busy. So I think that, when you allow other people to perpetuate a narrative for you, they get things misconstrued. Okay. So we got to be very careful about using our own discernment. Um, they said that the AstroWorld was a satanic ritual, and they have deleted videos with proof, you all. Y'all remember seeing that demonic soul walking up the side of the mountain? Well, I do remember that. And ironically, my friend and I were in here watching the AstroWorld Festival concert one night, and guess what? Apple has scrubbed that footage. So now when you look at the mountaintop, you don't even see that spiritual demon walking up the side of the mountaintop. Isn't that interesting? It is also interesting how Astroworld Apple has actually scrubbed the scene where Travis Scott is singing to the body in the crowd. Yeah, that's been scrubbed. So if you go back and you familiarize yourself with the original Astroworld video in its entirety and compare it to the one that's available now, you will not see that man unconscious floating in the crowd. You don't even see those individuals any longer. So, what is it that they're trying to hide? Probably because the picture that they were trying to paint for you is that Travis Scott was not on demon time, but Travis Scott was on demon time. Okay. Bombs. Okay. Bombs need to be dropped right there. Um, yeah. Be careful about letting people harvest your energy, y'all. Be careful about all this stuff that goes on behind the scenes, because you may not be familiar with what's going on, but certainly there is something far more sinister to be said. I'm going to try to find some clips to share with you. I try to find some different things. Right now, what they're doing is they're sharing with you the same footage that they want you to see over and over and over again. Why do they do this? The same reason that they do this, that they did this for 9/11. The more you see it, the more your brain believes it. even though they altered the footage. Now, they've been doing this for years and decades, you all. And I'm going to say it again. Remember what happened with JFK. A lot of people did not see what they thought they saw. There is actually a 3-hour documentary. You hear me talk about this. I speak about this a lot. Why do I speak about it? I say this simply because it's already been uncovered that they doctored that footage. Okay? JFK was shot by the driver in the motorcade. Why do you think Mrs. Kennedy started trying to climb to the back seat? That man had a gun, okay? And basically shot that man in front of the entire nation with cameras watching, with the crowd watching. So if they would do that on camera, what do you think they'll do with smoke and mirrors in Hollywood and lights flickering all over the place in the dark and an AstroWorld festival at a concert for entertainment purposes? I just want you to think about that. I want you to also think about the fact that many witnesses came up dead and missing, okay, during JFK's situation and during 9/11's situation. A lot of that information, a lot of those videos have been scrubbed off of YouTube and the internet. Now, if I had known back then what I know now, I would have tried to somehow salvage and save that information. You all remember the DVRs, which they took off the market back in 2011, 2012, around that time frame, because they knew it would put the cable networks out of business. People would no longer need to subscribe to Netflix and things of that manner because they could record everything to the DVR and the DVDs and make those. So that's why they pulled that stuff off the market. Not only that, whenever footage is released, that first footage is going to be the footage where you get most of the truth. I'll just put it that way because they alter news footage as well. When you go back and check, news footage is doctored, news footage is edited for a reason because they wish to perpetuate and portray a narrative. They want to paint the picture and the story for you. Why do you think in the news media they are always talking about depressing things? They want to keep you scared, isolated. They want to keep you in panic mode, paranoid. You can't go outside. You might get shot. You're going to get stabbed. You're going to get robbed. All of these things. They want to make it seem like so much is going on in the world. So you don't pay attention to what's really going on in front of your face, behind the scene in Congress, okay? In the White House, quote unquote, with the presidents, with these politicians. They want to keep your imagination and your vision focused on everything else but what really matters. Do you ever understand, or do you ever wonder why everything is backwards in this world? I used to always wonder that growing up as a girl. I used to wonder, why is the world so backwards? Nobody ever paid attention. Nobody ever made it make sense. Why is it that we pay taxes on all of this stuff and we don't really see any benefit from paying the taxes? Why is it that we pay taxes, you all, and the IRS is not even owned by the United States? Why are we paying taxes? These are the answers to the questions that I want to know the answers to. These are the questions that people need to pay attention to. Why do we pay taxes? When they said by the time we reach 65, they won't even have Social Security left for us, but yet it's taken out of our checks. We have to pay FICA. Who the F is FICA? Why are we paying federal taxes when the federal government doesn't even look out for us? State taxes when the state doesn't even look out for us. Certain neighborhoods, they basically pave the same road every single year over and over and over again. Y'all, and yes, they do, because I've seen it happen for at least 10 years straight. They pave the same road over and over. And then what they do, when it reaches a certain county or a certain line, they stop paving the road. You want to know why highly populated roads, highly melanated populated areas have roads that are all messed up and bumpy to mess up your car? You hit a pothole, then you got to go try to sue the county or the state where it happened. They don't care about your car. They are hoping your cars will mess up. Everything has been orchestrated and perpetuated against the melanated individuals. Nobody wants to talk about that in Congress, in the media, do they? No. And then they want to go ahead and incite this race war. And if you really paint the real picture, most people in this world, they just want to be left alone in peace and live in harmony and in love. They don't feel like fighting, but because the news orchestrates these narratives, now it's race, now it's hate, and all of this nonsense. You all, on my other channel, BGAB Clothing, I actually examined Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. I would also like to talk about it on this channel as well. And maybe I will live stream to both channels simultaneously so we can discuss that. William Cooper talks about all of this. Willie Lynch talks about all of this divisiveness, division, how to make people hate one another. You have to be a very calculating, conniving, scheming individual. So when it goes to the Travis Scott AstroWorld performance, what I would say is although it is very messed up what took place, it is another distraction from what is really going on. Nanobots, chips being implanted in people, the V word, the injections that are being manifested into fruition to stop people from being able to procreate in the future, to turn people into robots. These are the things that we really need to be paying attention to, you all. So, although I am going to play some clips from the Astro World situation, I don't want this to detour us from the real important narrative and picture that's taking place because our lives are at stake. Your lives are at stake, and our children's lives are at stake, you all. People get so caught up in shock value, and this is the problem. This is the point of contention. You all want shock value. And that is why you have to be entertained, okay, by these demonic entities. You all have to be entertained. This is why they put the PlayStation in front of you, the Nintendo, um, the Xbox, all of these gadgets, the next iPhone, all of these new cars they keep coming out with. Anything you can think of, whatever device they can make up to distract you from what's most important, most valuable, your life. They don't want you talking about the C shot. This is why every time you bring it up on Insta, on Face, on Mute, they want to mute you. You can't talk about it on Twitter. You can't say the wrong thing because here comes the CDC. And we just examined on this other video of mine who funds the fact checkers. Billy Goat, B Gates, okay? M Gates, the wife. So while I will continue to speak about the AstroWorld situation, I want you to really pay attention to all of these distractions that they must come out with to keep you from looking behind what's going on. And this quote unquote nurse right here, for some reason, her face looks extremely familiar, you all. I don't know if she's like a crisis actor. She looks like one. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before. She has 1 million views right here on Fox 26 Houston. Fox 26 Houston is lying to y'all. I'm just going to say it just like that. Fox is lying to y'all. The news lies to you all. I'm going to click on this and we're going to see what this is about. Sign in to confirm your age. Let's see here. Uh-oh, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Let's go back. Because I don't even think they're going to show it to us. It says graphic footage from concert goers. All right, let me stop sharing and let me see if I can get in there. AstroWorld Chaos. Graphic footage. This festival was tragic. All right, let's see if I can sign in. We'll see. We'll see what happens, y'all. All right, they're going to. I think they're going to send me a code so that I can get in there. I'm going to see what they're talking about, okay? All right, it says check your device. Let me send it. So I don't think I received anything. Let me check my iPad, y'all. I don't think they sent anything to me. All right, Google sent a notification to your iPhone, iPad, and one more. Open the Google app and tap yes on the prompt to verify it's you. Do I have the Google app? Let me check this out, y'all. Let me see if I got that Google app. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, it's me. Let's see if they'll let me in. All right. Now, this is by no way, shape, or form to be disrespectful to any of the family or relatives or the individuals that were hurt. But I want to really see and I want to hone in on what really took place, you all. Okay? So I'm going to take a look at this and I will see if I can share my screen right now. Okay? I'm going to share the screen. Select tab to preview. Okay. All right. You all, hopefully you'll be able to see this. Okay. Yeah, it does look like Travis Scott was looking into it. So we saw that footage already. All right. Let's rewind it back a little bit more, you all. Okay. This is disturbing. I had no idea. I haven't seen that one Okay, so clearly this guy is having a seizure. If you see what's going on with him, he's having a seizure, you all. If you can see his legs and his feet twitching right there, but he's having a seizure. So I don't know if he had a medical condition before he got there, or did this happen? What caused this to happen? So clearly they are panicking. So I do recall watching this, and they had like a big circle around someone. You really couldn't see into the crowd from the vantage point that Apple showed this concert, but there was some chaos and confusion going on in the crowd. And I'm pretty sure if Travis Scott was this high in the air, he could see that something was going on in the crowd.
Oh, this place rolling. We need somebody to help him. Somebody pass out right here. Somebody pass out right here. Hold on, don't touch him, don't touch him. Everybody just back up. Security, somebody help jump in real quick. Keep going. Just keep it this way. Somebody jump in. Come on, security. Get in there. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Yeah.
All right, so right here, I just want to point this part out. This is where there was like an unconscious person being carried through the crowd for whatever reason. I don't know if they're going to show that or not, but on my one of my prior videos, I think it's the first or second video where I was talking about this, you can see that body being surfed through the crowd. There it is. So they will show him. He's staring right at that person. I don't know if these are different people or the same people. We might know if we look at the clothing. Okay.
Standing in the ocean.
That appears to be the same individual.
In that 90210, second verse. 90210.
I just want you to hear the chords that they're hitting. It sounds very disturbing for that to have taken place at that particular moment, and they're playing those particular chords. It sounds like a drama movie, a horror movie of some sort. So you all just pay very close attention to detail here. All right, what does this say? It says, I want to remind you that you can see the ambulance on Kylie Jenner's Instagram story from the Travis Scott concert, and despite the news, has not been taken down. Hashtag AstroWorld. Do y'all really think that the Jenners, the Kylie Jenner and the Kardashians really care about people like that? They're very narcissistic individuals, and so is Travis Scott. Do y'all really think they care? This is why I stress so heavily about the celebrity worship situation, you all. Because you are expecting someone to have the same type of care as you, and they clearly are not orchestrated. They're not made that way. You got to understand how they grew up. They grew up in Hollywood, they grew up in the entertainment industry. So these people aren't set up the way that most people are in the regular world, quote unquote, regular world. Because this world is not regular, it's very abnormal because we live in a demonic society, as you can clearly see. And they want you to, this is what I don't understand about life and about these people in this world. They expect you to operate normally in an abnormal environment that they have orchestrated for you. And if you go to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, they want to diagnose you like something's wrong with you, when something is clearly wrong with the environment that they have orchestrated. You're basically being treated as guinea pigs. Let's see how much pressure we can place onto them until they fold. Oh, you mean you're still acting normal? Oh, well, let's do some, let's cause more chaos and confusion. Let's paint this narrative. Let's infect society. This is what's going on, and they want you to behave normal in an abnormal world. You tell me, how in the world does that make sense? It doesn't. This is a backwards world in which we live, and I've always felt that way growing up. All right, but let's continue. Let's continue, you all. So we know Kylie Jenner and the Kardashians are all um, based on ego. They're based on uh, narcissism. They're based on needing um, outside attention. They're based on likes. They're based on wanting to be envied. They're based on all of these they're based on superficiality, you all. I wouldn't support them. I've never really watched their shows. I don't care about the Kardashians. I'm only speaking about them because I'm trying to um, correlate what's going on here with the type of individuals they are. I could care less about a Kim, a Chloe, a Kylie, a Kendall. Okay? I could care less. And you should be the same way because what you give your attention to grows. These people couldn't survive without your energy or your attention. But because you give them this is why they are where they are today. No one cares about these witches from Arabia, okay, practicing witchcraft on melanated idiots, melanated men that go over there. And when they go over there, what happens to their lives? I don't feel sorry about Kanye, Lamar Odom, any of them. I don't. I don't. Because I just don't. Let's continue. And then 90210, second verse. All right, so I guess they're showing moments in the crowd, you all. All right, let's see what this says. Travis and I are broken and devastated. I don't even want to read it because it is very disingenuous. Okay? We don't care about the healing and all it and their prayers. Keep your prayers. Okay, what does this say? AstroWorld Festival, 14-year-old revealed youngest to die. Okay, well see there's a discrepancy here. He wasn't the youngest because quote unquote they said Ezra Blount, the 9-year-old, was the youngest. And then they keep saying it was 8 people, which really it was 9 with the 9-year-old. So you see there you have the 2 nines right there, symbology. And then it really was 10 if you count that young lady that they dropped on her head, Shahar Baharti. I think that's her name. That's 10. That's 1 0, 10. 1 0 is completion. So why are they playing around with the numbers like this? I don't know. Let's continue. John Hilgard is the youngest victim to lose his life. His family shared the photo of the boy who was crushed in the stampede Friday. Who brings their child to a concert as such? I would not take my children out there if the crowd was that hype, if the crowd was that rowdy. Why would you bring a 14-year-old to something like that? I still don't understand if this was the case. Because we don't know. We're just hearing what they told us. We don't know this to be true, you all. You think they won't use children to pull on your heartstrings? Yes, they will. Research Sandy Hook. They used 5 and 6-year-olds and told us that those children died, and they did not. Emily Parker was a crisis actor in a narrative that was perpetuated by BARAK Obama and the quote unquote father, Robbie, PARKER, Robbie Parker. Look it up. A lot of this stuff they have scrubbed off the internet. And Vicky, what was her name? DeSoto. She was the quote unquote child teacher that died. She had dark brown hair, but she had been seen being used as another crisis actor in another quote unquote crisis. They think this stuff is funny, y'all. They are laughing behind the scenes at people. Y'all thought those children died? Those children did not die. And they had helicopter footage flying overhead of those children. They were told it was like a drill, a fire drill. Put your hands in front of you onto the other person's shoulder and walk outside. If there was real shooting going down and people's lives were in jeopardy, would they be that orchestrated or would they be running for their lives? Let's be real. You think they don't play with your emotions. You think they wouldn't use children. They don't even care about your babies because that's why they're trying to give them the injection. So they can't procreate in the next 5 to 6 years or whenever they get into adulthood. You think they care about your life enough to tell you the truth? If they lied to you about 9/11, what makes you think they're going to tell you the truth about the CVID injection? Let's continue. This guy again, Danish Babe, Franco Patino, Brianna Rodriguez, Rudy Pena. I already looked at them on the prior video. Also, she was a model who wanted to become a U.S. Border Patrol agent. I find that very ironic. Listen to what they're saying. She wanted to become a U.S. Border Patrol agent. She was a model, but she wanted to be a Border Patrol agent, you all. Okay, let's continue. Oh, I just can't with these people. Don't you open up that window. All people died and hundreds were injured. They've been severely criticized for not stopping the concert. He stayed on performing for 40 minutes. This was all orchestrated, you all. This was all orchestrated before it even started. This right here is very disturbing. My apologies. All I can say is I hope that was not a real body. This is the young lady that I was telling you about that I did not want to play it on the last video because it was very disheartening. And if this really happened and she lost her life, my heart goes out to her family because her name was Miss Baharti, Bharti, I believe. She was 22, a college student. Now she's of Middle Eastern descent. And unfortunately, it looks like she was passed out and they didn't strap her down on the gurney and dropped her on her head first. And as you can see, she's whisked away in the crowd. I hope this was not a real body. And the reason why I'm saying that, you all, is because when COVID hit, we were shown news footage of quote unquote alleged patients in hospital beds. And in one of those hospital beds, it was footage of a dummy, a real life dummy that had a hole in its neck. And they were telling us that this was a COVID patient. Not only that, they were showing the same footage over here in New York that they were showing in Italy and being told that this was separate footage, but it was the same footage. Who uncovered this? Well, I noticed it when I looked at the news broadcast. And Dr. Rashid, Rashid Buttar, Buttar, also spoke out about it. Okay? So, like I said, the news is fake. And Trump told you this, but too many people are arguing about the fact that he's a racist. We don't want to listen to Trump. He's a racist. He told you. Not only that, but they're trying to take away your GUN rights, your right to bear arms, your amendment rights are being stripped away. Your constitutional amendment no longer exists, y'all, because they want to keep you focused on an AstroWorld festival where they are harvesting souls and energy. Let's continue. It just felt like we was like this. TMZ has this footage. So you have to be very careful with TMZ because TMZ is owned by the CIA, and they are always on the scene when something ironically happens. How did they know every time to have cameras rolling right at that one particular time when something's going down? So I don't know if someone sent them that footage or not, but like I said, prayers and, healing to her family, and just positive vibes for people that were really injured, and really, if they did lose their lives. I really hope they didn't. And this guy right here, I remember seeing him already, but let's listen to what he had to say.
Literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they're gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted. And the people were the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning them black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could do. Like this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. It was like help. The whole crowd was just going to help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make. Y'all see everything, like, like I've been so heavily influenced by Travis, but like after tonight, bro, like God really showed me, like, like stay away from that shit, bro. Like that shit not for you, cause like he sacrificed so many people's lives tonight, like for real. Like so many people's lives are gone tonight because they want to go to a fucking Travis Scott concert and have fun. He influenced people to be raging and all this shit. So many people broke in and it was just chaos, bro. It was a living fucking hell, bro. Imagine seeing all those dead bodies, and that was just by me. Lucas. Lucas.
Please, Madeline Eskins. Can you spell it for me just to make sure we have the correct spelling? MADELINEESKINS. So tell me about your experience at the concert tonight. Starting just before this happened.
We got there a little bit later, probably around like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and we got one drink each. He got a beer. My boyfriend got a beer. I got some mixed drink they were selling, and we weren't really interested in anybody that was performing at the smaller stage. So I said, let's go get a good spot for Travis Scott. This is the third time I've been at AstroWorld Festival. I was there for the first year in 2018. I went in 2019. Did not have one in 2020. So I went. So we went and tried to find a good spot at the stage, like I do every year. It was fine at first. People were sitting down trying to hold their spots in line. It was still daylight, but as that was like 6:15, 6:30. As it got closer to 8:30, 8 o'clock, started, crowding. Got kind of tight, got kind of packed. 8:15, more crowded, more tight, more packed. We couldn't really move around a lot. We were a little bit towards the front. We were about 4 feet away from the fence to the right. There was an alleyway in between the left and right side of general admission for the photographers and for people to walk that were, I guess, celebrities and stuff, and for security. We were about 4 feet away from that fence. So at 8:30, he started a countdown on the main screen, like a timer, till he performed what it was for. And when he started the timer, people started pushing. They pushed forward, and then other people would push back and forward and back. As the timer got closer to 0, it got really, really bad. I couldn't even turn my head to tell my boyfriend anything. I mean, we were packed in there, so I had people shoving me from behind, shoving me from the front, on both sides. It's getting really hard to breathe. I was trying to jump up and lift my head up so I could get air. And whenever he started performing, I looked at my boyfriend. I tried to look at my boyfriend. I only got about this far. And I told him, I said, we have to get out. We have to get out. And he said, we can't, because we couldn't move. We could not, you couldn't go forward, backwards, inside. You couldn't do anything. The only way to go was up. I remember I was about to tell my boyfriend to tell my son that I loved him, because as it went on, it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I really, truly thought that I was going to get crushed to the point where my trachea was going to get crushed, my chest. I thought I was going to die. And I noticed he looked really bad. His eyes were rolled in the back of his head. He was completely limp. He did not look good. I asked the security guard, I said, have you checked the pulse on this man? He said, I don't know how to do that. He's like, please help. So I checked the pulse. I did not feel a pulse. His eyes were rolled in the back of his head. His pupils weren't reacting. I shined my flashlight in there. I said, do not drop him off here to go get someone else. You need to go take this man to the medical tent. Take him somewhere. Go. I cleared the way. Another security guard overheard me say, because at first, before I told him that, let me rewind. I told him, I was like, I'm an ICU nurse. I've worked in the ED before. I have experience with this. Like, let me help. Instead of just trying to shove through me. The other security guard had overheard me tell the man that. Tell the security guard that. So he came to me, he said, hey, we need your help up here. So he took me to the front of I think I was in the VIP area. There were 2 towers beside me that people were standing on, and also where the light crew was on either side. And I walk up, and I mean, nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. Nothing. I mean, I work in the ICU. I see people die every week. When I was working in the ER, we get people coming to us that are, have CPRs in progress all the time. I saw 3 people laid out on the ground, and maybe 4 medics doing CPR. Have CPRs in progress all the time. I saw 3 people laid out on the ground, and maybe 4 medics doing CPR on 3 people. One of them was Blue, the guy that looked the worst. I ran over to the medic and I said, do you have an AED? Do you have an ambu bag? What do we have? How long have you been doing concussions? I just started asking her questions. She said, I don't know. I said, has anybody relieved you from concussions? She's like, no. There were other civilians trying to help do CPR that didn't know how. I mean, teenagers, 19 years old. I asked him how old he was. 19 years old trying to do CPR at 18. I mean, I'm only 23 myself, but still. So I take over compressions. As I'm doing compressions, I'm asking the medics around me. I said, where do we have an AED? Do we have an ambu bag, which is to give them breaths? I said, what do we have? Do we have an IV kit? So I can put an IV. Do we have meds, like epinephrine to give them? They were like, we have 1 AED. We have nothing. We have 1 AED, and it's over there. And I look, there's a woman, as I'm doing questions, she's got pads on her, the shock pads is the best way to explain it. They found the ambu bag. They brought it to us. And so someone started giving him breaths as I was doing compressions. I told them, the medic, I don't know.
All right, y'all. So you can take from this what you will. It's difficult to say what really happened because, as we all know, they like to mix fact with fiction every time an event occurs. So I want you to be very aware of that, be abreast that this goes on a lot. We saw this take place in 9/11 when they told us 2 planes crashed into the towers when really those buildings were detonated. Okay. The planes that allegedly hit, did the planes actually hit? Well, most people will say yes, we saw that. But if you really pay attention to the chemists and the scientists and the particles that they actually were able to obtain at the scene, it was flammable material that was tested that basically backed up the scenario that this was a detonated situation that took place. They detonate the buildings when they want to do a demolition work. Like in Las Vegas, they make a lot of casinos, and when they're ready to take those buildings down, they demolish them. How did they do that? The same way that was done in 9/11. Those buildings came down in a very orchestrated pattern. That meant they had to take the floors out. This is why people were hearing explosions on the scene. And if you go back and try to find that footage, it has been scrubbed, okay, from YouTube. A lot of people kept saying, I heard something rolling. It sounded like a train. I heard explode, and then I heard explosions. But the rumbling that they heard was the fact they built detonation devices underneath the Twin Towers, you all. These towers were constructed back in the 70s, I think 1973. But anyway, it was a major thing when they built these Twin Towers. And they had a lot of footage about these towers. Why is it that The Simpsons predicted that the Twin Towers would fall, that planes would go into the Twin Towers? Because The Simpsons is owned by the CIA. Why did the Simpsons predict that Trump would be in office as the president? Because The Simpsons is owned by the CIA. HGTV, all these news media outlets that you watch, Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, are CIA operatives. And so you think this is something fascinating because they're predicting the future. I don't think it's fascinating. I find it very troubling that these people are playing with your lives, and people are playing with orchestrating the world in which you live. They're controlling the narrative and the picture that they wish to paint for you all. So I want you to use your sense of discernment when you're watching some of these quote unquote victims and quote unquote crisis actors. What do I believe about the AstroWorld situation? I do believe that some of these people were planted into the audience. The same way when you watch the BET Awards and these VH1 Awards, they plant people in the audience to make the audience look fuller, to make the audience look lively, to make you feel like, oh, I wish I was there. Hollywood is all smoke and mirrors to make you feel like, oh, I wish I was a part of that. And behind the scenes, these people are practicing demonic and ritualistic practices on your souls. Because without you, they could not thrive, they could not survive. They need you to feast off of. So when you give these people your money, your hard working money, tickets of $150, $250, $350, upwards of $400 people have paid to go see Travis Scott in an AstroWorld concert, only for this to come about. You tell yourself, is Travis Scott, is his life worth more than yours? He's one person that has lackluster talent. We've already heard how they basically used a way to manipulate the numbers on a public platform to make it seem as though he got millions of views and he did not. If you don't believe me, watch some other channels. There's another channel holder that I was watching that was talking about it, and he did an excellent job breaking this down, you all. I was watching him earlier. I'm going to see if I can find his channel, and I probably will put it in the description box below, because I think it's a collective effort that not only one person speaks about this, but a multitude of people come out and speak about these atrocities, if you will. Because the real atrocity is the lies that they give us, the lies that they paint. And they don't give us a choice because they paint the narrative for us, but you do have a choice. You now have a choice on whether or not you choose to believe their lies. Okay, now I'm going to pull him up because his name, let me see, what is this? New breed till the world over. Okay, let me share the screen because I want you to actually watch him. Now, he does talk about the Bible. For those of you that are not interested in hearing about the Bible, You don't have to listen to that portion. But what's more important is the message that he's delivering, you all. So I'm going to share the screen because I want you to see his name is New Breed Till the World Over. He has 132,000 subscribers. He has a Patreon. This is all of his information right here if you choose to look. I subscribed to him today. At first I wasn't going to because you know how I feel about that whole narrative with the Bible. But when people are able to correlate certain passages with what's going on, I find it very informative. Um, there are certain beliefs and practices that I don't subscribe to. But like I said, we all have to use our own sense of discernment. These people are trying to make you think something. That's the problem. You have to be able to think for yourselves. So let's see what he's talking about, you all. And I'm going to play his video so we can listen in. Oh, there, an ad is coming up. But he makes some very good points in his video about the energy harvesting, about the soul harvesting that takes place in these practices.
Business of snatching souls. Your entertainers. I don't mean just your rappers. I mean your entertainers in general. Even your popular social media personalities. Your dating coaches. Those who you are simply entertained by, they're in the business of snatching souls. Yeah. We're talking about 8 people on record who died at that Travis Scott concert. But let's make this very clear. Let's make this very clear. I believe it was many more. And it happened all in one fair swoop. Imagine hundreds of souls, maybe even thousands of souls, being snatched all in one fair swoop. I can assure you that Travis Scott will be one of the biggest artists in the world. Listen to me again, ladies and gentlemen. Travis Scott will be one of the biggest artists in the world, and so will Drake. And Drake is already a huge artist, but Travis Scott, along with Drake, they're going to get a promotion in Satan's kingdom. That's how this works. They get a promotion in Satan's kingdom because they collected the souls of the people, and they collected young souls. They collected souls of the youth. It's sort of like that Mortal Kombat character by the name of Shang Tsung, who out here snatching souls, and that's exactly what they did. They snatched souls. They body snatched. And what does Shang Tsung do in Mortal Kombat? He takes the soul of the victim and he actually takes on their body. He takes on their physical body. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what Travis Scott was doing. They out here playing Mortal Kombat. They out here playing Soul Calibur. And regardless of what the media is saying, of how apologetic Travis Scott is, and how he's going to show some level of recompense and take care of the families and pay for funerals, listen to me. Those shadow people behind the scenes better believe Travis Scott called his bank account and it went up a few zeros. Better believe that black card has been promoted and pushed up a few zeros. Now, I got some sources I want to go to. I want y'all to hear it out of the horse's mouth. I want you to hear from Travis Scott's own mouth what he's in the business of doing, right? I want you to hear it out of his own mouth what he's in the business of doing, so you can know it ain't no game. Thanks for the $5 contribution. Easy, appreciate it, says, yup, bro. And it's not just about deaths, but the minds. Those who continue to defend and support him will be judged. Absolutely. Rollo, thank you for the $5 contribution, says facts, New Breed. And they not hiding either no more. Absolutely. They not hiding it at all, my brother. Matter of fact, there's a video of Travis Scott a few years back speaking about his performances and his concerts. I'm going to play that real quick. I want y'all to listen carefully.
It's just staged. All I can just say is, like, an artist, we just got to be, like,
aware of just like what you just said. You know, people are always gonna be reaching for that bad headline or that bad thing. You know, so I'm aware. That's why I was just like, man. But when I do my shows, I be so turned, man. Like it's another level. Yeah, Travis Scott's on stage. Like, I'm not, you know, he be possessed. I'm not like the guy that got like, you know, I had the backup dancers. I ain't got the drummers and that. No. I'm all about the blood. You know, we gotta turn up. You know, I'm all about. I'm all about the blood. I'm all about the blood. We gotta turn up. He's all about the blood. Like blood sacrifices? That kind of blood? Blood, just like this. Who's bleeding on stage? I mean, you know, I'm not bleeding, but the fans are like... I'm not bleeding, yet the fans are giving their bodies. The fans are giving their bodies.
All right, once again, you heard it for yourself, what they're all into. So again, I'm going to say enough of the idol worship. Okay, enough of the celebrity worship. What are you doing? You're celebrating an entity, celebrity, okay? No entity should be celebrated to this magnitude that you're giving your life away. You're paying $1, $2, $3, and $400 to go to a Travis Scott concert, to an AstroWorld festival. Nobody on this earthly realm is worth all of this. And I mean, when you talk about blood sacrifice, what do you think Jesus is all about? Jesus Christos, okay? The Jesus the Christ. You break the bread to represent the body. You drink of the juice to represent the blood, okay? You, for all that you know, you are performing a ritualistic spiritual sacrifice, and we don't even know the intent behind some of what's going on in that arena. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. And this is not to say anything disparaging about the Christian based faith, the Baptists, and all of that, Catholicism. This is just saying use your sense of discernment, you all. Be careful about practices in which you are given. Be careful about things that you partake in without knowing why you're doing it, where it derives from, instead of just going along with a narrative that people before you did it, so now you're going to do it and pass it on to your children because your grandmother did it, your mother did it. So you're just going to keep pushing this narrative. Think about Stolen Legacy by George Small. Read that book, you all. Stolen Legacy. Okay? Because it paints a very interesting picture about this religious practice, okay, that was perpetuated to the melanated people. Why was this religion given to us? All right? And y'all, you want to know why evil is winning in the world? You want to know why evil continues to prevail? Because these people have no limit to the amount of sacrifices that they will give to these deities and entities. The universe recognizes energy. Okay, universal law recognizes energy, whether it's evil, demonic, whether it's good and angelic. It's going to give power to those in which will give up the most sacrifice for it. And these people will go to any level, any means necessary to feed the deities, okay? Because the spirits have to be fed. I want you to think about that. I want you to understand the magnitude and how deep this goes. They show you this in cartoons. Batman, Spider-Man, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles. You notice how the bad guy is always at an advantage and the good guys are always at a disadvantage. You notice how evil is always laughing in your face, making a mockery of you in these cartoons, in these movies, and how they always never play fair. The devil never plays fair, and they show it right in front of your face. And they say the most biggest trick the devil ever played is making people think he never existed. Do you understand that the devil uses music? He's a connoisseur, a con artist, if you will. He uses your vices against you. And as a matter of fact, let me not even use the terminology he. The demonic entities and spirits that are amongst us will use any and everything against you. It does not play fair, whether it be your own relatives, your health, your wealth, any and everything. Make no mistake. Evil does not play fair, you all. And while you think this is just harmless music, harmless concert, harmless movies, harmless TV shows in which you tend to feed your brain, what you see, what you listen to, what you watch, you're feeding your brain. Subconsciously, little by little, you're desensitizing yourself to the evil of this world. Why do you think that it is normal that a 3 and a 4 and a 5-year old play games where people are killing one another? I just want you to think about that. When your child is born into this world, you put a remote control in front of them at the age of 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they play video games where they're killing, slaughtering. Think about the desensitization. Think about the cartoons, all the fighting that goes on. Desensitization. And there are certain frequencies, you all. There are certain vibrational tones that affect every living particle around us. So if it does that to the particles in the air, what do you think it does to the human living body? I'm going to try to find a scenario that represents exactly what I'm trying to convey. Someone sent me this on Instagram, and I'm going to try to pull it up so you can see exactly what I'm trying to show you. If I was on Zoom, I probably could show it that way by sharing my screen from the phone. But since I'm not on Zoom, I'm going to try to pull this from Instagram. Let's see here. I'm looking, so please be patient with me, y'all. This was just sent to me yesterday, and I actually shared it. Let's see. Okay, so I think it has disappeared off my story. Nonetheless. Okay. All right, let me see. Where did they get this from? Alkaline humanism. My apologies, you all. I'm trying to see if there's a way to send this to myself. Let's see, how can we share this? Oh, it says we can share to, I'm gonna airdrop it. I'm gonna try to send it to myself. Airdrop. Let me try it again. All right, it might, it's probably, okay, here it is. All right, y'all, let me see if I can. All right, let me see if I can get this to play, and I'm going to share it with y'all if I can. Just a second. All right, let's see here. Go here. Share, 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 share. All right. Here we go. All right. Hopefully you can see this. All right. So I think you get the point. All right, let's stop there. All right, so I think you get the point. Someone made a very good comment. It says, "This is why the music you listen to affects you. Of course, sound creates form and structure. So you see the different structures that the salt took on based on the megahertz and the frequencies that were being played. What do you think this does to the human body? Now, I don't know if you are familiar or abreast with this information, but they did say that at the Travis Scott concert, before Scott came out, the whole entire evening they were playing these weird tonalities and frequencies. So those tones, okay, those chords that they hit, they can be something called cognitive dissonance, okay? Dissonance means that these chords are not in harmony, okay? So it causes people to react in a certain way, vibratory frequencies. They weaponize the music highly against melanated people, and they know that we are some of the most vibratory people when it comes to rhythm. Okay, that's just something that's structurally built within our DNA. This is why we have innate rhythm. As babies, we just have it, we're born with it. I don't know how else to put it. My mother told me a story that when I was a baby, I wasn't even walking, wasn't even talking. Music was playing, and she said I was moving my foot at the sound of the music, and I was on beat, I was in rhythm, I was in tune with the music. So if this can be done to children, that means that we're born with this, you all. And this is not trying to like downplay anybody else, but melanated people, what I'm saying is that when we listen to that drum, that tribal drum, that beat, this is why we love bass so much. I love bass. I love listening to, the hype music, the turn up music. That's just something that we have built in us, and they know it. This is why they weaponize that music against us. You have to be a mentally strong person not to succumb to the nonsense. And so sometimes you need to just take a break from some of this music, back away from it. I take breaks from listening to that type of music, even though, yeah, it gets me hype and stuff like that. But to listen to it every single day, it's not healthy. The music is not healthy, y'all. Sometimes put on some R&B, put on some classical music. Um, they actually say when you have children, even when she's in the child is still, in the womb, let them listen to classical music because they will be far more advanced in mathematics, you all, because those are tonalities, tones, and frequencies, and rhythm. It's mathematics in classical music, the Baroque movement, all of these things. There's nothing wrong with listening to other genres of music. And that is another thing that I wanted to speak on, because melanated people think that they're supposed to be turned up 100% of the time every time they listen to music and get in the car. No. Sometimes it's good to just be able to think. Listen to meditation, megahertz, 528, 428, different love frequencies, you all. You need that because your body responds to it. Your heart responds to it. Your mind responds to it. Your creativity is manifested in it. Listen to it at night before you go to bed. Don't listen to 3-6 Project Pat. We all love, Future and all these things and the Travis Scott music, but you need a break away from that stuff sometimes. Yes, it's good to tap into certain energies when you're trying to get things done. You want to listen to certain music to venerate certain situations within your life. That's one thing, but to constantly stay there is not what you want to do, you all. And so that is what I want to say. That's the message that I wish to convey today. Hopefully, when I come on, I will, you know, be able to show you what I look like because right now I don't have my camera hooked up. Um, and yeah, that's it. But I want to just send a special shout out to all my beauty queens out there, all the melanated queens, beauties all across the globe, all the true warriors that walk amongst us that do protect us. Shout out to the little princes and princesses. Continue to be steadfast in your intellect. Continue to all walk in your divinity. And Brown Girls with Beautiful Thanks You All. If you would like to write to me, check me out at BGABClothing@gmail.com. You can also check out the website at www.bgabclothes.com. I also have a podcast on AnchorFM. That's Brown Girls Are Beautiful, BGAB. I'm also on TicToc. That's Brown Girls Are Beautiful on TikTok. On Instagram, I'm Brown Girls Are Beautiful as well. And although I push the narrative, brown girls are beautiful, I know we're not brown. We're copper tone, we're gold, we're made of all these wonderful things. We're bronze. But you get the gist, okay? Brown girls got to be celebrated. We represent and celebrate our golden glowers, our caramel cuties, and our bronze beauties, you all. We're about unity over here. We're not about divisiveness, okay? So enough with the hating on one another because of skin complexion, because of hair texture. Y'all, that is so beneath you and minuscule. That is far less more important than these bigger objectives in which we need to be fighting when someone is trying to take your life, okay? And the real enemy is not each other, okay? It is these entities that think that they are more supreme than us, which they are not. This is why they have to use the methods in which they do to try to wage war and divisiveness amongst us. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to be signing out. You all stay blessed. And until next time, thank you so much for joining me.
Get into it. Okay, get into it. Enjoy nature, y'all. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like water. It's nothing like beautiful waterfalls. It's nothing like beautiful scenery, beautiful background. So y'all, just take time to live your life.